Hello and welcome back. This is Demo 2. The next thing we're going to do is populate the table view cells with a listable object. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to set a cell style on our prototype cell. And I've set that style to basic, which will give us just a title. There are four pre-assigned cell styles, if you will. The basic style just gives us a title. The right detail style gives us a title on the left and a detail label on the right. The left detail style puts the title in small font on the left and then the detail on the right. And then the subtitle style puts the title on top in a larger font and the detail underneath it. So as I said, we're going to use the basic style. Now the other thing we've done is remember that we have assigned our cell itself an identifier of cell. And this corresponds with the identifier that's in the template for cells for row at index path. So let's go ahead and save the storyboard. And now when we look into the template, we see the cells for row at index path method. And let's find that. Table view cell for row at index path. And it passes in an index path. Now the index path is an identifier for the row and also the section of the table view. Index path dot section will give us the section number, and that's 0 based, of course. And then index path dot row will give us the row number within a section, and that is 0 based as well. So the first thing that happens here is the cell identifier is given an NS string and it is just set to cell. And this corresponds with the identifier we set in the storyboard for that table view controller. And then we set up a UI table view cell, and we're calling it lowercase cell, as table view DQ reusable cell with identifier. And then we use that cell identifier, which is the NS string cell. DQ reusable cell with identifier occurs when there is already more than one allocated row in the table. What happens with the table view is that rather than keeping all of its cells allocated at all times, if the table view has more cells that can be displayed in one screen, when that table view scrolls, cells are deallocated off the top, let's say, and then reused on the bottom. And so this is a queue of cells. As they go off the top or off the bottom during scroll, they're reused at the other end of the table view. So this DQ reusable cell with identifier grabs a cell off of that queue that is reusable at that time. The next thing that happens is we set the text label on that cell. We set its text property to the cell contents array object at index given by index path row. So let's look and see how that happens. We have an NS array as a property called cell content, and it is lazily instantiated at the top of our implementation. It could be anywhere. And I'm just lazily instantiating cell content to be an NS array allocated and initialized with objects, and then three NS strings, 1, 2, and 3. And when we initialize with objects, init with objects, we must pass nil as the final object. An NS array needs to know where its end is, so we pass nil to flag the ending of that array. Now, in number of sections in table view, we're choosing in this table view only to have one section, so we're returning 1. This will be index path dot section equal to 0. And then number of rows in section, it's the count of the cell content array, which will be 3, correct? Index 0 corresponds to the NS string 1, and so forth. Cell for row at index path we've already talked about. And so now the table view is populated with a listable object, which is the NS array containing 3 NS strings, 1, 2, and 3. And when we run this example, we'll see that. And here we are. The table view is populated 1, 2, and 3. Now, this root view controller, we can change this title. We can either change it dynamically, or we can change it within the storyboard. So let's change that within the storyboard for now. If we just double click, this is just another label sitting on our UI navigation object. So let's just change this to numbers. And now if we run the app again, we'll see that the title is numbers. Thank you very much.